The six-page handout. This is the final leg of the Finance Committee meeting.
Nice try. There never is a final.
We'll be back in January. We'll be back in January.
They're always adapted.
I did finish my sentence,
We
but
know better.
of the 2025 three-part series, for this one being the operating budget. So this is all the general fund activity. I'm basing it on the 2024, what I think is going to be the ending budget. You have the amendment on the agenda tonight as well. So I'm using those amended numbers to project the beginning balance for 2025. Now, the wages and benefits related to wages increased 3%, which is the percentage in our contracts, year 3 of our contracts. The health insurance, we're projecting at a worst case scenario 20%, but it might end up there.
That's every year.
Yeah, but this one is, we had a bad year,
Yeah.
some bad
juju.
some bad juju. One being a preemie baby, so that, I mean,
Yeah, but you know,
I can't say who it is,
it's
but
been going
just
since
an example. It's
every
not
year.
gonna repeat.
Every year.
Is
our
I guess
work.
my point, is that one's not
Yeah.
gonna repeat.
Every year we
hopefully.
negotiate, it'll be 20%.
So the grayed areas are the wages and benefits. And on the first page, I wanted to point out the insurance. I'm expecting it to drop 100,000 because we were in another group that ended up disbanding, and
Right.
everybody in the group had to pay to disband it. So we're in a very large pool now, the Ohio plan. And I don't foresee that plan falling apart anytime soon.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, that is a good
It's a
thing.
real good thing.
So, nothing else special on page 1. Flip it over to page 2, I printed double-sided.
So, wait, before you
Yeah,
go,
mhm.
all the wages down below
Yeah,
are also part of that 3%?
yes, 3%, but the hospitalization line is 20%.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So same thing on the opposite side. Nothing special outside of the wages and the hospitalization on page 2. Page 3, which starts with account number 101-140-5410. Again, just on the top part of this is just the wages and benefits and hospitalization. Down below you will see a new section of the general fund, our senior center section. Fire chief, he was here. He wanted me to break that out of his budget. It's been growing.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, so, not sure we'll hit the 271,000, but I always project high, so on the expense side.
Running that bingo game is
That's right.
Okay, there's one on Halloween.
Yeah,
Everyone's a winner. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I
Well,
mean-
the trips are always on Thursday.
yeah, and we just
Food
had,
deliveries Tuesday, Thursday.
Yeah, we do
and
a
then-
lot.
Yeah.
Bingo
Just
is
had-
very serious
yeah.
down here. Do not interrupt bingo. I'm warning you because I made that mistake once. Don't.
and do not fake call bingo either, right?
Don't interrupt bingo.
But, I mean, just an example was the clam bake. Was that yesterday?
Yep.
Yeah, was a huge success. The whole fire department bays, all tables.
They sold 100.
Yeah, 100 people came for
Wow,
for the
that's
bakes.
awesome.
Yeah, so,
Touch the truck.
and that might help with segregating these if you're asking for grant money too. So, good timing, chief. Just ending talking about the breakout of the senior center from your fire department budget. And, how successful the program is and keeps growing.
Well, I have numbers that we worked on today.
You have more numbers?
Yeah. Gotta find them in a,
Like attendance type numbers?
basically, yeah.
Okay.
So in January of '23, we were delivering 115 meals each Tuesday and Thursday. Currently, we are delivering 175 meals every Tuesday and Thursday. In '23, because that's when the bus program started, the bus trip program, we did 7 bus trips. So, and planned through the end of the year, we're at 44.
What?
What? From 7.
44 bus trips?
Yeah.
So
They
there's
went
one
to-
every week?
It is a
They went
hot
to
program.
IKEA every Thursday. They went to IKEA one time. I go, how can you walk in there and not buy something?
Yeah.
I couldn't
Well,
do
and
that
they're
one.
even, they came to me and said, hey, when we get trips that double up, because they have waiting lists, can we go another day? And I was like, sure.
Mhm.
Then now, some of the trips, they can't do that because I'm approving POs into February and March for next year.
Right.
Because they require payment to buy tickets in advance. They get a lot of plays.
Sherry and her assistant are phenomenal.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah, they,
Yeah.
We have a lot of fun with them, but
yeah.
Yep.
Sherry's like a
Um,
butterfly.
Mhm.
And then
Yeah.
in-house events, which would include luncheons on Wednesday and Friday, plus Rotary, which is every Tuesday, except during the summer, they,
Summer
Oh,
holidays
right.
and holidays.
so in January of '23, we were doing approximately 18 of those events a month. And currently, we're doing about 29 of them. So everything is expanding. Now, I'll be honest with you, I already told them they gotta find corporate sponsors, but
I was gonna say, what's the funding
They
situation?
want-
Are the other
that-
communities funding, or is it all Macedonia?
3,500 a
They
year.
contribute 3,500, but keep in mind, we also get grants. Some of the ways we get those grants is by having those other communities in there, because the larger it is, the more likely you are to get the grant, so.
Mhm.
I just signed one for, how much was that? Direction Home, I think it was 50 grand.
50, yeah.
Nice.
So, I mean, we're getting dollars in to help support that, but
Right.
seniors are important, and I think we do more than anyone around us. And a lot of people are calling and asking us what we do, so we're kind of setting the benchmark for folks.
Awesome.
And I love it.
I love
Yeah.
it too.
No, yep.
Well, good
and I
job.
tell you what, one of the things that does drive it, I don't, I say pick on Mrs. Tully, but she's here every Tuesday and Thursday. And those volunteers that deliver those 175 meals every day, they're 100% volunteer. And they come in, and if the girls are busy or call off or vacation, the guys are busy, they just kind of, as long as they can get in the building, they set up, they accept the food, they bag it, they load it, they know where the routes are, and they're gone. So, I
And
mean,
how
it's-
happy are those people to see you when you deliver that meal?
Well, and then we get all the 4,000 empty containers because they wash them and give them back because we donate them and they're reused,
Yeah, that's
Right.
good though.
which is nice. And
Yeah.
funny.
a lot of them leave the checks because they have to pay so much per meal. They'll give you the checks too. But
They're currently-
people who
they're-
are just, the
sorry.
residents are just ecstatic about it. They love them.
They're currently paying $4 per day.
Yeah.
Where do they
Well,
come
we paid 6 months. The only
She
part-
has 3 different caterers she
Oh,
uses.
One of
Yes.
the bigger ones is Maple Heights Catering. They do a pretty good job, and the seniors seem to like that caterer. But yeah, they use a number of different
Yeah, the
ones.
caterers, the
Some
only
have come
problem.
and gone. You know,
A couple times the caterers
Cooked
are late.
Cooked to something.
So the service
Cook the cook,
cook
guys
the cook.
will go, and I think we had the fire guys one time, go and pick up the food and bring it, so we could
Tasty take.
bag it.
Tasty takeout.
Tasty
Tasty
takeout.
takeout.
Oh, yeah, that's a
I
good
think
one.
that's the one.
Yeah.
And we have one person who's a vegan, and they make
They
the
manage-
meals
oh, that's awesome.
specifically for her.
That's great.
Kyle's a senior?
There's 2 people in Macedonia that are.
Yeah.
All right, so that's why we broke that out. It's a very successful program. So flip that page over, back to the wage and benefit increases, nothing special on this page. Not to say that because it ends in the police department, there's nothing special on this page.
But it's basically every place we look, the gray is
Yeah, it's the
wages
wage
and
and- yeah.
hospitalization.
Right.
And
That's pretty much the only stuff that's changed too.
Right.
I don't see anything, until we get to page whatever this is.
Yeah, I forgot the number.
I don't know, there's no page number.
No.
I got lost because I don't have patience.
Yeah, so if we go to your, top would be 101, 210. 5212, that's the
Yep.
second part of the police
Police.
department.
Look at the fire department giving back 10 grand.
Yeah, that was nice of them. Well, actually, you know what that is?
No.
We're moving that money up to the service center, or
Oh.
senior center, I mean.
Okay.
So that's where you'll see those, when you flip the page, you'll see the other two,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. So those monies went
We
up.
get our due, Scott.
I
Okay.
So if we go to flip the page, you'll see the 242,800 being moved up to senior center and the bus trips as well. And then we go to dispatch. Knock on wood, we've done pretty well this year with dispatchers and the contractors. Yeah, and they have a new air fryer that they enjoy.
Cool.
And they're happy.
Is it UL approved?
Trust me, the fire
Jokingly-
inspector will let them know if it's not.
Yeah. I jokingly told the guys on staff yesterday, I told them, test it, don't you set off that smoke alarm. But they did, they used it, it was fine, they love it. No, they're happy.
Yeah. So that's it for the general fund. If you want to go into the amendment while we're in finance committee, we could do that. Because I do say questions and comments, but we can wait till,
You should probably wait till the work session.
yeah, that's fine.
No, I like how your memorandum
Yeah,
was extremely helpful.
thank you.
Yeah, those are always helpful.
And I love the colors.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Just
You
want,
sent the, you sent the wrong one. It didn't really have any info on it.
I
And no,
did.
whoever did. And I was like, oh, he's gonna have
I'll
a lot of
take it. I'll
explaining
take-
to do
I'll take
in the
full
meeting.
responsibility.
No, it just was uncharacteristic of you. So I'm glad to know that it was wrong because there was no info in it.
There's no
Just-
changes in colors, nothing.
just
What-
wants to be nice not to have colors that
Yeah.
you could get, but I know how finance goes, you know?
Like, what kind of amendment
your
is
best
this? There's no
prediction.
changes.
Is the crystal ball working?
It's working, yes. And the mayor and I had a positive meeting today with a current employer in the city. It went well. We can't say much about it, but it went well.
We did we're losing a business in town. They're going to another location, but it's Great Day Improvements at the corner of Highland across from Fun Stuff.
Patio enclosures.
I heard about that.
Yeah.
So they're moving, but we don't have empty buildings for very long, and we're already getting inquiries. And then we're getting a couple new ones in. Northern Hazardot's moving in from Walton Hills, so Great Day's going to Walton Hills, and Northern Hazardot's leaving Walton Hills to come to us, so I guess we're awash.
Do we know if they left by choice or
They're
lost their
building a
lease?
new building over
They-
there on Ford Plant.
Yeah, they're expanding.
They don't like their neighbors blowing up across the street.
I didn't give an explanation.
Okay.
I know that they were looking to move, and we were trying to keep them in town and find them another location,
Okay,
but I don't think that there was anything conducive to what they were looking for, so
makes sense.
we
Yeah,
tried.
It'll be exciting. Some other business will roll right in there. It's a great,
Is it-
it's a great spot.
Isn't Northern Hazard just increasing their freezer space?
What they're telling us is they're gonna move everything over there at some point.
I was told by the young lady that was here, but that's not the case.
Well, they bought the property next door, so,
Because
Where
I
are
know
they at?
that mayor has been doing
On
everything.
Freeway?
North Freeway, is it North Freeway?
Yes.
Yeah, North Freeway.
Okay.
Northern end of North Freeway.
There was a big, that building was hot, everyone was talking about that building.
It's about the middle of North Freeway.
Yeah. And they
But it's the
only have
last
two of them.
developable site. right?
No, General Crane is the last.
Oh, general, okay.
Yeah, she told me they weren't leaving Oakwood at all, so they're just expanding.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
I talked to the bosses, so I'm gonna go with what they said. Who knows, they're coming here, it's all matters to me.
All right, we have about 15 minutes before the work session, so enjoy your pie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
anybody wants a piece of pie.
Nice
Why
pie,
did they
right?
give me-
Bring your food over, man, dude, let's eat.
They're in the back.
Along with my wife's
Don't have to tell me twice.
pie server that I was told to no less than 10 times. I
Make sure you bring it home. Yeah, exactly. I think that's the quickest I've seen
You bring
Vinny
whipped
move in
cream?
a couple of weeks.
If I let you take this, you make sure you bring it back.
I guess you won't have anything, right?
No, no.
They're all this good.
But
I don't want
that
to
is
start
very,
when it's already.
Just trying to make sure
That's like
that
when the seniors
I
go
saw
out.
we have 2020
sorry. Call him at home.
Okay.
We have
Oh, man.
we have a lot of stuff. We have a lot of stuff to get through and a short time to get through it. All right, ordinance 70. This is TIF with B&B.
Indeed, go on to the next one.
Yeah, I mean, you guys have any questions? You saw the TIF, what the improvement areas are, which are
Yeah,
very
we just
generous.
have to wait
Yeah.
till after the 12th year to start collecting anything because they have a
Because you
CRA.
get the tax abatement. Right.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah, let's do 1, 2, 3.
First-
First reading,
Oh, that's
so
cool.
Yeah.
You
Well,
have to give the statutory notices.
to the
Does
school.
this, man, what was in your apple pie? I've been coughing and sneezing here. Does
Good thing you
this,
didn't have.
does this have any impact on taxes to schools?
No,
Never does.
Never.
Okay,
Keep them
because
whole, yeah.
Never does. The schools,
Usually
the
we
schools always
don't.
get the whole thing.
We
And I
have
don't
one in
want
the
them s-
past, but we
Yeah.
The
worked
first-
it out prior to.
Yeah, but, well, the whole casino thing, they got their money, but nobody else still isn't getting theirs. So
All right,
first-
just first reading on that
first
one,
reading,
please.
sir.
Yes.
71, this is bonds for the resurfacing of Ledge Road.
Correct. And we discussed this in our infrastructure and in our debt meeting. These two, 71, 72 will go together when we borrow, but they have to be separate because of the purpose when you entertain them as an ordinance.
So 72 is for the whole road program, or is this for this?
No,
This is
no.
for the Valley View Highland stuff, right?
72 is for Valley View Highland, and also John State Route 8 and Highland intersection
Right.
is added in there as well.
Right.
And Highland and South Bedford, and the sidewalks along South Bedford and Blue Jay Trail,
Right.
And this is
just to
the,
be prudent.
this is the road project we've talked about for quite a bit
Yes.
at Valley View and Highland, because it always amazed me, we have left turn lanes, but we don't have left turn signals because it's just, there's not enough space for all four.
So 71, that's for the Ledge Road. So let's do that 1, 2, 3, so we can get the paperwork started on that. And 72 is the big project all over the place in
Yeah.
Valley View and what you're talking about and everything.
Well, in
for turning
Highland,
lanes
or
in Highland.
at 8 in Highland, I think everybody knows what, how many semi-truck accidents have we had there this year? Including the one with the death, but then it was like the following week we had another, and then the following week.
Off the top of my head, Jan, I couldn't tell you.
Well, I hate to tell you, I saw Greg and I were driving, and we're waiting to turn left. School bus goes through the green light, right? School bus behind him goes through the red light. And I'm like, are you guys nuts?
All right, let's do 1, 2, 3 on that so we can do more with this project.
Hey, before we do that, at 8 in Highland, are we gonna add more lanes or just pave it, or what are we doing?
It'd be similar to Valley View and Highland. We will add turn lanes, new traffic signal. Also, the sidewalk will be installed, as the mayor was indicating, take you all the way around the corner, up South Bedford, past the high school, because there's no sidewalk there right in
Right,
front of the
we
high
only
school,
put it in
and
to
all
a
the way to
certain
Blue Jay
point.
Trail.
Okay, so because that intersection is the, well, between the car wash, Kentucky Fried Chicken, and then all the businesses down, and we're getting all the semis from Twinsburg, that road
It's
is
a very
just,
inefficient area.
oh, yeah, that whole road is, I feel sorry for the
It's
kids
actually-
wanting to go.
It's actually not that bad, and I'll tell you, I said this in my community focus interview. People always talk about how bad traffic is on Highland Road. My wife and I were at Fun and Stuff during rush hour, and she goes, "Oh, great, we're gonna be late because we were going 8 south." I said, "Put your timer on. We'll be there within 6 minutes." It took 4 minutes to get from Fun and Stuff traffic backed up to Fun and Stuff to get onto Route 8. It's not that bad, but this will help with that.
I
I
don't
had the
know,
same bet
I've
with
been
my
there where
wife
Valley View's back,
from
it's
Shepherd
backed
Road.
all the way
It's
to 8.
4 to 6 minutes.
And then trying to turn left onto Shepherd. That's why we never go that way, because you can do it at Valley View, because when the light turns green, you floor it real quick, you can get left. But it's I feel sorry for the.
I can't wait for this project to save us from ourselves.
Well, I feel sorry for the people who work on Highland, because if you go down there at rush hour, you can't get out. They're just sitting there and sitting
They
there.
manage. They manage to get home every day, because they're back on the road to the next morning. All right, 73. This is for the Second Amendment only?
Second Amendment
Second
only,
Amendment only this year.
Somebody's been watching me.
You shortchanged us, John, only two.
Yeah, really. We deserve more.
So, yeah, hopefully it's our last one.
Yeah.
Had to increase revenue for some grants, so that's a good thing. The brine EPA grant that Service got. There was a PUCO grant for a fair program for training.
Cool.
And then the OT one-time
One-time governmental, I forget the whole thing. But we got a $500,000 from Senator Roederer's office for
Yes.
the new service building.
I think it's one-time strategic community improvement funding grant.
Nice.
Yeah, there's a lot of money.
That sounds about right, John. I'll believe it. I'll buy that for $1.
We got some dollars.
Yeah, so if I had to move that, since we're using it for our service center, and it's a reimbursement grant, we're not really gonna be spending the $500,000 before the end of the year, so, we have until the end of December 2026 to get reimbursed, so we're still good. So I just moved that into, the 2025 budget, and then the TIF funds adjusted for the second half settlement receipts. That's about it. The road program, we increased for the sidewalk program, which came in at say rounded off 120,000, and we were anticipating 210.
What is the deal with the Summit Point TIF being $700,000?
Well,
Mark?
it doesn't matter because we pass it all along. We don't
We don't
collect
touch
any
that.
of it. We
It's a
we
pass-through.
collect it and we pass it along.
Yeah, we're gonna work on eliminating that pass-through if we can with the county.
So we don't keep any of the 700?
Nope.
But the other ones we do keep? Those
Yes.
smaller numbers we are keeping?
Yes.
Okay.
Summit was the first one, and it was a special project. I guess I wasn't here at the time.
Okay.
It was just structured differently for the financing.
And the Optima TIF, is that just the one time that high? It's 130,000?
No, what happened was,
Is that also a pass-through?
no, what happened was, when I first got here, the county was given all of the money to the city, like the Summit TIF. So then I had to send them a copy of the TIF ordinance that says, right in the TIF ordinance, the schools shall be treated, and it's directed towards the treasurer. The schools shall be treated and funds shall be dispersed to the schools as if this TIF ordinance did not exist.
Okay.
So they straighten it out for the ones from Summit Point to, what was our most recent one, say Culvers?
Mm-hmm.
And then for some reason reverted back to giving us all the money
Okay.
for the Ohio State waterproofing and Optima. So I have 2 checks sitting up on my desk for both of those TIFs to go, one check to go to the Nordonia school system and one to go to the CVCC. But I'm waiting on a letter from the county to say, hey, because if I was a school treasurer, I'd want to know this isn't going to happen again. I would want to know why it happened.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want them to think it was us. So I was just emailing them back and forth today to get that letter so I could deliver the checks to the schools.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm glad it's straightened out.
Interesting and frustrating.
Yeah.
Because I had to wait for them to tell me before I could figure out what to give on the Summit Point tip, because it's all intermingled on their spreadsheet that they originally sent.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All
But
right.
it's all straightened out. Just waiting on those letters.
Any further questions on this budget amendment?
We're gonna do 1, 2, 3.
Let's do 1, 2,
If
3.
you would, please, yeah.
All right, 74 is the first reading of the budget.
Yeah, so we went over the operating portion of it today. The rest of it, we've talked about, the capital improvements, the debt, the street improvements. So it's all culminated into this for first reading.
Does anyone have any further questions that we haven't gone over in any of our finance committee meetings? Should be all set on that. So we're just gonna do one on that.
Mm-hmm.
Next is, the conditional zoning certificate. So that it had already come through. They made some changes and the mayor said he was good with that. The changes included putting the sidewalks on the main street, putting 2 sidewalks on the main street, and then just continuing with one around.
It's what made sense. It put it into a perspective that now it makes complete sense to where people would walk and it's conducive to get to somewhere safely. So Nino and the developer worked through it, brought it to me, to my attention, and I think that that's a very, very good, fair thing to put forward. So, yeah. You should see the map. I think the map was provided as well.
Yeah.
Does he have a date to start on that property since it's been years?
It's Ohio. Weather kind of dictates. It's hard to say. I don't know exactly when he's going to start digging, but weather affects it.
So we do first reading or 1, 2, 3?
I mean, we've already gone over this one. I know we only had one meeting previously, but since we already did it in our last meeting, we're familiar with the entire thing. There was one small change. The mayor's on board, the building director's on board, so I'd say we do 1, 2, 3 on this. Let the guy breathe. All right, 76, we are going to have to, if we want to add it, we are going to have to waive the 48-hour rule. This was and we're gonna do just one reading on this, the initial reading of the adult use cannabis, which is what we've, discussed in our public meeting, at the last meeting. Everything's the same. The 2 main changes that Mark made is that he changed the distance to 1,000 feet, which really isn't gonna affect any of the retail spaces. It's mostly gonna keep the processing and cultivating a little further away from the high school, which the mayor was interested in. And then he also added a distance requirement for hotels. That's something that Mr. Garvis was interested in. So this would keep mostly retail away from the hotels in the area. So are those the only changes you made to the draft, Mark?
Yes.
We
So-
do first reading?
Yeah, we'll do,
So we
cause,
can get this out again
yeah,
and say.
exactly. So we need to have this done by December, so that's why it needs to go on emergency. Waive the 48 hour, so we can have 1, 2, 3.
If
this
we
week.
don't do this, it automatically goes in play. Can we extend the moratorium?
We can, but we did all discuss in the public
Yeah,
meeting that we
okay.
weren't interested in doing that, so.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's just go ahead. Mark, can you give me the language for the 48 hour, cause I'm gonna have to read that.
Yeah, give them the line,
So
remember that? I wanna
The
waive
charter
it.
actually lets you combine, you can just say motion to waive the 48-hour rule and give it first through third reading by title only. You just do it all
Okay.
as one.
Yeah, just put the 48-hour
Gotcha.
language in front of it.
Gotcha.
We used to do that quite a
Can we
bit.
come back to 76 after 77? I have some.
You can go ahead and talk about 76 now.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute. Are we doing 1, 2, 3 on 76 or
One-
we're
No,
not?
reading,
one,
first reading.
one.
Just the one, okay.
Yeah, we said
Yeah.
1, so
Well,
we
then-
get
I think
more.
it was-
He
Whatever.
said I
Yeah,
am
whatever
able
you
to do
want.
it. Yeah, I am able to do 1, 2, 3.
Yeah,
but-
so you're able to, but we
My
did.
point is you can combine the 48-hour with the reading.
But we normally didn't, when we do 48 hours, we normally didn't offer it 1, 2, 3.
Right, exactly.
Because we were bringing it late to the table. after
Well,
the
this one
48.
we all agreed we planned.
Yeah.
We wanted
Yeah,
specifically to have it October, November, December. So I don't know if it was on it, but I'm gonna propose it, and Jeff, I need you to second that one.
a lot of paper here.
Did you have another question?
Yeah. So I had a very spontaneous conversation with a resident off the cuff, thinking that I knew their opinion and I didn't, and had a very interesting discussion about Ordinance 76, and that is that he was totally taken aback that we were even doing this and had no knowledge of it. And I said, I'm not surprised. We live in a community where there's no news leader anymore. There's no coverage with the social media stuff that Julie used to do. There's very minimal coverage of what we do in this room and outside on the dais. And he made a really interesting point, and that is that he wishes that we would do something to make this more obvious. And he even, and we stopped talking about it, and I went back to what I was doing, and eventually heard back from him, and he said, you know what, you should put that on the ballot. And I thought, I never thought of that. And the more I've thought about this since having that conversation with him, the more I thought, because I've gone through all the different, scenarios of, it's already been on the ballot, it's already been decided. But on the flip side of it, the fact that so many people have already approved it, is nobody's actually, when they approved it, they also approved the ability for us to completely prohibit it permanently in the city, right? And when you approved it, as a voter, you approved everything. But we have the ability to choose retail versus cultivating versus processing, right? And the more I thought about this, the more I came up with an idea that we can continue going down the road of what we're doing with Mark and come up with what we think is the right framework of how we should do it in the city. But at the same time, we could take this issue and at the next opportunity to put it on the ballot, give every resident in the city of Macedonia the opportunity to say, I'm not necessarily opposed to this portion of it, maybe the cultivating and the processing, but I don't like the idea of there being a retail establishment in the commons, or vice versa, or if the results of the election repeat themselves, they might approve all of it, right? But the main difference would be we've given the people that live here and put us in charge of doing these things the opportunity to give us their opinion of how Macedonia should implement it, not just the entire state of Ohio. And if you asked me this, like 2 weeks ago, I wasn't even thinking of it. And after that conversation and the realization that I would bet the vast majority of our constituents have no idea we're discussing this, I can imagine there is a day that the first retail store opens, wherever it may be, and there's a massive backlash. Because now, is it our fault? No, it's the fault of the residents for not paying attention to what their council's doing. But if we were to in fact put this on the ballot, we would potentially give them an opportunity to tell us what they want. And I've kind of run some ideas past Mark. He's going to do some research on what we can and can't do, I believe. And I know, Councilman Finley's not here, so we should probably wait until he has a chance to talk about it. But I also don't want to slow what we're doing, so I'm totally in favor of first reading tonight. But I would love for us to think about that and give the community the opportunity to decide what the direction should be with this topic, because it's one of those bells that once we ring it, we're not going to be able to unring it in the community. That's just my thoughts.
Well, we would be able to.
If
you said it a year
if you had
from
a
now.
retail store that
If
was
you did
open
have a
and
retail
established, they would probably have an argument that they're grandfathered, and we'd probably not be able to undo that.
They would be grandfathered.
Yeah, I just assumed that.
2 points on that, and you bring up a very valid thing. One, I've had residents come to me and tell me that they had no idea that there was a council election, they had no idea it was this and that. So even if we did have it on the ballot,
They may not even
they
come to
may
vote
not
for it.
even
Right.
know
Yeah.
or care or
Right.
bother to vote for it. I mean, they yelled at me that nobody had a sign for you in their yard.
Right.
Because, so.
Yeah.
And another point to that is, and I forgot what it was, so go ahead and say it.
I got written correspondence on that same issue, saying the same thing, that the residents should have a voice in whether or not this comes into Macedonia. So once I got that, I started physically asking around, and I either got, well, whatever, or I got, I think that would be a good idea for that to be on a ballot.
Well,
They
there's,
already had a chance.
No.
And that's what yes, they did.
We
The
call- I-
state put it on the ballot.
yeah, the state put it out.
But it has nothing, you're right, the state put it out there. They voted to okay it in the state of Ohio.
Right.
But nobody okayed it, and to have it, in Macedonia, as Jeff said.
Right.
Okay, so now you're narrowing.
No, that's not true. One person told them not to. You'd have to go look, and they're not gonna provide for us.
We did
The
have somebody
ballot.
come in here and oppose it.
No, but that's one person.
Yeah, we
We
did
got
pass it.
12,000.
We did pass it 61%.
Right. So
Right,
See,
for
so it
Ohio.
wasn't-
So the one point I wanted to make is when everybody voted in favor of issue 2, they actually accomplished 2 things. They made it legal, but they also made it possible for it to be completely illegal in Macedonia. And what we don't know is, do our specific residents that voted 60% in favor of the issue now trend towards not wanting us to have a retail store. Or maybe they want a retail store, but they don't want cultivation in our community.
Well-
And if we were to take that as two separate issues to a ballot, we would know what the will of the people we represent really is.
Well,
Don't we already allow medical cultivation and processing and medical
Yes.
retail?
Right.
I mean, we've had that on the books for what, 2 years, 3
2018 or
years?
19, I think.
And
Well,
we've had quite a few come through and inquire about it, but no one's actually pulled the trigger and done it.
So yeah,
Is
so
there, there's
that
nobody
many-
waiting in line to do any of it?
but I guess I'll tell you,
Not the store, I want to be very clear, but the cultivation and processing, we've
Right.
had many reach out, and I get the calls, but it sputtered, but I recently, over the summer, I think I had 2 calls about it again, but.
But nothing serious. I don't want to give you the impression that my motivation for this is that I'm opposed to it. The reality,
Yeah, I understand.
The reality is, we know that there's going to be a retail establishment in Northfield Village, right? My whole thought process is representing the people that we're here to represent, and knowing if they truly want there to be a retail establishment in Macedonia Commons. Until I had that conversation, I didn't think that we were going to encounter any opposition, to be honest with you.
Well, it's not even a matter of opposition. A lot of times people, we do things and people say, oh, we should be able to vote on that. People did vote for us to be here to vote on
I
that
agree
for
with
them.
that too. I agree with
Now,
that
we
too.
talked about, we did the moratorium last December, and as soon as we passed the moratorium, we did say we were gonna have a public meeting. I've been saying it all along. In the summer, I said we're gonna plan a public meeting.
Yep.
We're gonna move it to the
Yeah,
fall.
and out.
When we had the public meeting, it was in the e-news messenger, it was on the city website, and it was in it was on Facebook. We talked to people, the people that we
I hear you.
did hear from. So I understand people often want to get that granularity of voting, but they also didn't want to be involved all the
And-
time beforehand. And we tried, we really tried to get everyone
And
to
I
come
think-
out here.
And I think it's a sign of the times we're in where there is no news leader, right?
Mhm.
There are people, like my mother-in-law is of the age that she's not going to go look at the city's website. She's not going to read the e-messenger. She's not looking at Facebook, right? People that, we earlier tonight were bragging about the fact that we do so much for them in the senior community. They probably have no idea we're discussing this,
Mhm.
right? So in the days when the news leader existed, I believe that demographic of our constituents knew what was going on because the news leader would have been covering everything we've talked about over the past 12 months, and it's just not getting out there. And for a topic like this, I do wonder if it would be worth the effort to let the public know. And I'm not, I really kind of was hoping that we were going to have a full council. I forgot Councilman Finley was going to be here tonight. So I would just consider, that we discuss it,
Mhm.
maybe next meeting when he's back.
Sure.
We can explore it further.
Well, you bring up a very interesting point, so we will all digest that, give it some thought. Hopefully, Dave watches the meeting, so maybe he'll
Yeah.
get some thought into that. All right, we have to keep moving along. Thanks for bringing that up. So like I said, we're just going to do first reading on 76. 77 is also going to be the 48-hour. I don't remember who I had sponsoring
Darvis,
this.
you have Darvis.
And you?
Nobody, you didn't put in a second.
77?
Yeah, I didn't see any.
What?
Did I do a second for 77? Jarvis and I think Vinny. So Vinny and Sue.
Director Goodetti, you said she can add those both at the same time?
She can do the motion to waive the 48-hour rule.
No, I wouldn't do the
and
48
read.
hours.
The sponsor will do the
The
motion.
sponsor will do the
She's-
motion. It'll be one motion to waive the 48-hour rule and do the reading.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'll do 77s.
Yeah, he'll do the
48
same thing.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
Who's
All
the
right.
second on that one?
Vinny,
And on the one before,
Jeff.
the,
76.
Yeah, but we're only gonna do one reading anyway.
oh, that's right, that's only one.
All right,
Cool.
you're up, chief. You have 3 minutes.
3 minutes.
Well, Vinny wants some minutes too.
I'm sorry.
Are you bringing
all
the
right.
drone in?
No, we're not bringing the drone
That's a
in.
ban.
Next year's budget, we had planned $70,000 for a drone vehicle, and this vehicle that you guys all came out and saw tonight fell into our laps. It's essentially a $400,000 command and drone vehicle, owned by a local dealer in town, and we're getting it for $150,000. It is 5 years old, but it was a show vehicle. We've had it in our building for over a week. Took it down to the mechanics. They were very impressed. It was a show vehicle. It's very clean. The craftsmanship. Kyle, it's full of technology, so we involved Kyle in on. And if you want to speak of the technology, you're far better suited than I am.
It's basically, as he said, it's a rolling command vehicle. It has its own network connection, its own additional power system, so we're not just running all this technology off of an alternator in a standard vehicle. That's one of the
It's got
big.
solar.
Yes, it's got solar, it's got shoreline, it'll trickle charge, it'll take care of itself, it'll maintain itself. The batteries are serviceable, the chassis is clean, all the technology was installed properly, cleanly, there's grommets on the holes, you know. It was all done very nicely, and I think this gives us an opportunity to get a piece of equipment that would not have been affordable for us, and to put something in the hands of the drone team as well as all the emergency services, and to give us a tool that the community can really benefit from. I'm completely for it and would love if you guys could approve it.
Is this drone used by either department?
It's a truck.
Both.
By both?
It's a
Cool.
joint,
Cool.
drone team, yeah.
You know, when kids get lost, what's the
Yeah.
first thing you think of? Put a drone on.
Yeah,
We
they've
got
been doing
kids
amazing
playing in
stuff with
Longwood and
drones.
they just disappear.
So we were there talking to them outside and we saw it, everything. Jan, did you have any further questions about the van
No,
or anything?
I'm-
Kyle's into it. It's amazing. It was going to be a $400,000
Yeah.
thing, and we got this. So
I'm
we
all
gotta take
for
it.
it.
So let's do 1, 2, 3 on that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, and one more thing, Mr. Ventura.
I'm going
You
to
got
pass
three.
on that, we got 2 minutes to go.
Okay.
I sent everybody in council what I've been working on, and the procedure, the proper procedure is given to me by Mr. Gaddetti. So you guys can read over that as many times as you want. Feel free to call me and ask me a question. I don't think that would be a violation of the Sunshine Law. And we can put it on the agenda maybe on the next council meeting, because I plan on meeting with Mr. Gaddetti and putting out the proper language to try to accomplish what I've been working on.
3 of you can talk, so don't all,
No three-way
do
calls.
not
No
all.
three-way
all-
calls.
Y'all should know that by now.
All right, anything else, folks?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Wait, you want to remind everybody tonight out at that meeting that we only have one meeting the next 2
Yeah.
months.
Okay.
Yeah, because if people have things they want to come say,
Yeah, that's true. And also, we got a ton of candy for the Buds Trick or Treat next Tuesday. So anyone who has a clown outfit who wants to come,
and what's
Good evening. It is October 24th, 2024. It is 7:30 PM. Will Mr. Hoover please call the roll?
Ms. Brandt.
Here.
Mr. Garvis.
Here.
Ms. Tully.
Here.
Mr. Ventura.
Here.
And now I ask Chaplain O'Brien to lead us in the invocation, which we will be followed by the presentation of our colors by the Macedonia Fire Department Honor Guard.
With bowed heads, let us pray. Dear Lord, we come before you this evening with gratitude for the opportunity to serve our community. We ask for your guidance and wisdom as we gather to discuss matters that impact the well-being of our city and its people. Grant us clarity of thought, patience in our deliberations, and compassion in our decisions. May we always seek to uplift, protect, and serve with integrity, keeping in mind the greater good of all. Bless our city, its leaders, and every resident who contributes to its growth and vitality. Tonight, we especially lift up for our fire department, the brave men and women who serve selfishly to safeguard our community. Their courage and dedication are a beacon of hope in times of crisis. We ask that you watch over them as they perform their duties, keeping them safe and strong in body, mind, and spirit. May their commitment to serve us inspire us all, and may we never take for granted the sacrifices they make to ensure our safety. Amen.
Please remain standing.
Your left. Your left. 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 Forward. March. Left. Left. Hard time. March. Your left. Left. Color guard. Hold. Prepare to post. Post. Present. Arms.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Order. Arms. Forward. March. Your left. Left. Your left. Your left. 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 Your left.
Thank you. Okay, next on our agenda is the approval of minutes.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes of both the Thursday, October 10th, 2024, a public hearing, and Thursday, October 10th, 2024, regular council meeting.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Next on our agenda is the public comments. We ask that you come to the stand here, state your name and address, and we ask you to limit your comments to 5 minutes or less. Chief will keep the time for us. And first on our list is Ellen Bertel. Welcome.
My name is Ellen Bertel, 319 West Highland Road in Northfield Center. I'm here as a representative of the Palmer House Museum from the Historical Society of Old Northfield. Earlier this year, you donated $500 to us for capital improvements, and I missed a couple meetings, so we didn't get much done until just a few days ago. We have decided to use the $500 as part of the down payment to get new windows for the Palmer House. I do not have a copy of the invoice. What I have is a copy of the contract and a copy of our deposit for the windows. Will that be sufficient for your records?
Yeah, that should work.
Let her have. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So we really do appreciate the fact that you donated and gave us this opportunity to start replacing the windows in the Palmer House. Second thing is, I've been trying to put together a historic homes tour for next June, and I still need a couple more houses, but I am inquiring whether or not I need a permit from our surrounding communities, you being one of them, if we have any historic homes on the tour.
I don't think you need a permit for that.
Okay, just notification to the police department there will be traffic at certain areas?
Communication's always great.
Okay, great. And the third thing is going back to the America 250. The website is america250-ohio.org. They have new grants up on their website. They have posted the monthly themes for 2026, if you're so interested in getting involved in something like that. And they are also looking for official America 250 communities. That's something that's signed up for on the website. There's an application. And at this point, there's only a couple communities that have signed up for this, and they are looking for 250 communities to get involved before the beginning of 2026. So that's all I have.
Great.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Good to see you. All right, next on our list is Shelley Robaskowicz. Did I get that right?
Close.
Robaskowicz. Oh, not even close. Well, welcome.
Just like it looks. Well, hello. My name is Shelley Robaskowicz, and this is my first time here. Thank you for allowing me to come and have a little talk with you. I am a Macedonia resident and one of the founders of Nordonia Together, which is a political action committee that advocates for school funding to ensure that our schools have the support they need to effectively serve every student. We are currently spearheading the campaign for the passage of Issue 30. I have volunteered with past levy attempts and have often heard community members have not known that there was a levy on the ballot. They don't know how the schools are funded, or they don't understand the need for additional funding, considering that we are a highly ranked school system. I've also been frustrated on many occasions trying to get answers to the complexities of public school funding. So we have spent considerable amount of time developing an easy-to-use website that provides a plethora of information regarding these topics. Additionally, we have included answers to frequently asked questions, presentations from the superintendent, Casey Wright, and treasurer, Kyle Kiffer, and anyone can contact us with questions that are not addressed in the website, and we will direct them to the proper source to get the information requested. We also spend a lot of time and energy addressing misinformation that runs wild during election season. We encourage the community to utilize the resources available, such as the school district and Board of Education websites, attend informational presentations, such as the one by Casey and Kyle on October 30th in the middle school library, and to attend board meetings and PTA meetings. Issue 30 is a combined operating and permanent improvement levy. It will cost the average Nordonia homeowner $1.50 a day to maintain class sizes and programs, enhance safety and security measures, provide dedicated funding for essential repairs and improvements to our aging facilities, and address a $4.8 million projected deficit in the 2025-26 school year. Despite eliminating upwards of $2 million in spending, which includes 13 teaching and 3 non-teaching certified positions in the past 2 years, the current funding level set in 2019 is not keeping pace with inflation. It costs more to operate and repair our schools today than when the last levy passed in 2019. Without the additional funds this levy will provide, our children will be the ones that have to deal with the significant cuts in class electives and programs. We would like to encourage our residents to not sit on the sidelines when it comes to maintaining our top-rated schools. Get involved, get informed, and most importantly, vote yes on issue 30. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next on our list is Mr. Tidmore.
Good evening, Mayor Molnar, to President Brandt, and to all of our council members. I stand today not as a board member, but I stand today as a resident and a parent, and just want to reiterate the importance of making sure that we vote yes on November 5th for this levy for issue 30. I want to say and make sure that we're very clear that the time is now. We cannot afford, and I mean seriously, cannot afford to wait until the next cycle of levies. If we don't make this move now, it is going to impact our schools in a very drastic way. And I don't say that as a threat. I don't say that as a fear tactic. I'm saying it as a very real reality for us. And so my hope is that we understand the motto of if everyone carries the toothpick, nobody has to carry the log. This is time for us to take our toothpick. We need every voter to vote yes in favor of issue 30. What it's going to do when we talk about class sizes, right now we have the privilege and the benefit to keep our class sizes to a manageable, almost anywhere between 15 to 17 students per classroom. If we're not able to fund a levy, this could mean increase in class sizes upwards of almost 30 kids in a classroom. And I'm saying that in an estimate, so please don't hold me to that because I know somebody will. But I will say that it will increase our class sizes. With our increase of class sizes, that means that's less time for our educators to spend the dedicated individual time that our scholars need in order to make sure that we maintain our 5-point rating. I know it's a 4.5 now, but you just wait. We're getting back there to that 5-point rating. In addition to that, we have great programs. I've seen many of your smiling faces when we're out at our programs and at our events in our district, and I feel, and I know you feel, that sense of pride when we're able to see our kids participate in programs that allows them to expand their gifts and expand their talents. If we don't have issue 30 passed, then all of those come into question whether or not we'll be able to fund those. And then lastly, and more importantly, we want to remain a destination where people want to come. We want to remain a city where people want to continue to move into. And right now, the reason why I was attracted to this city some 5-6 years ago was not only because of the great neighbors that I had or the wonderful smiles that I saw when I'm shopping in the community, but it was because of these wonderful schools that we have and we can pride ourselves on. And so I'm asking, just as a parent, and I'm asking as a resident, that we make sure that we do what is right for our kids and vote yes for issue 30. Thank you.
Thank you.
Before we move into the meeting, I'd like to say thank you for coming based on my invitation at the last council meeting. As I had stated, I deliver meals every Thursday to seniors, and they all had a lot of school questions. Not all of them use the web. So I tried to give them what was on your web, because I said I'm not the expert at this. So I appreciate your coming to talk to them. One of the questions I always get is, what do you do with the money now that you're getting from us, as well as the state, as well as I think you're getting money from the casino? I can't answer that. That's one of the questions I get all the time. So if you can make sure that's out on the web. I'll see them one more time before voting and ask them to make sure they look at it. And I'll print out some and take them with me so they can share with their neighbors. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, correspondence from the clerk.
Yes, sir. We have two pieces. One is a message that says, I'm notifying my council at large. I'm opposed to any dispensaries within the village, and I think that anything deciding if they should be allowed to go to the voters because it impacts the community as a whole. And that's from Ed Spehar, 9829 Firestone. And then there was a note passed along from Chief Ripley, not from Chief Ripley, but to him. Thank you for your faithful delivery of our meals. A bright spot in our Tuesday and Thursday. Compliments to the meal planners too. Great menu. Blessings to all. Gratefully, Barbara Holzer, 624 Windsor Lane in Northfield. And that is it.
Thank you. Okay, moving into pending or new legislation, starting with ordinance number 70.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to offer ordinance number 70 for its first reading by title only, please.
An ordinance declaring improvements to a certain parcel of real property to be a public purpose, describing the public improvements to be made which directly benefit such parcel, requiring the owners of the improvements on such parcel to make service payments in lieu of taxes, establishing a B&B municipal public improvement tax increment equivalent fund for the deposit of such service payments pursuant to Ohio Revised Code sections 5709.40, 5709.42, and 5709.43, and declaring an emergency.
So just a very quick, brief explanation. TIF, we have our TIF expert, our finance director, Mr. Veras. Can you give a very brief explanation of what a TIF is, sir?
Oh, I thought you were going to.
You're the expert. You're the SME.
So what this is it will allow the community to capture the property tax dollars that would have went to the county, gets redirected to the city that we can use for public infrastructure improvements in the area, in and around B&B theaters. They have a tax abatement for the first 12 years, so this would not begin until year 13 of property tax payments.
Thank you.
We'll leave it on first reading so we can notify the schools who we're keeping whole, but we still have.
Here, we could have told them.
Oh, there's still the joint vocational school too. So leave it on first reading. I'll send out the letters next week, and we'll do second reading in November and passage in December.
Great, thank you. Ordinance number 71.
Mayor, I'd like to offer ordinance 71, 2024 for its first, second, and third reading by title only.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
An ordinance to provide for the issuance and sale of not to exceed $370,000 of notes in anticipation of the issuance of bonds for the purpose of paying the cost of resurfacing and otherwise improving Ledge Road between North Bedford Road and Shepherd Road in the city, altogether with all necessary appurtenances and related improvements, and declaring an emergency. And I have been presented with the executive fiscal officer certificates that accompany both this ordinance and the next item on the agenda.
So essentially, we're going to pave Ledge Road, and this is how we're going to pay for it. So a lot of folks have asked about this. We did get some grant dollars, Mr. Gelati. Thank you for helping with that. But when you get those dollars, we plan for things, you know, we're going to do it next year. The roads, it needs help, but it's not that bad. I mean, I drive along to other communities, and not to demean some other communities, but our roads are pretty darn good. And that road needs help, but it's not that bad. So if you could bear with it till next year, I would certainly appreciate that. Any further comments? Hearing none, what is your pleasure?
Mayor, I would move that we pass and post according to law ordinance 71, 2024.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ordinance 71 carries. Ordinance number 72.
I'll make a motion to present ordinance number 72, 2024 for its first, second, and third reading by title only.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
An ordinance to provide for the issuance and sale of not to exceed $2,335,000 of notes in anticipation of the issuance of bonds for the purpose of paying the cost of constructing, reconstructing, and otherwise improving various streets and sidewalks in the city, together with all necessary appurtenances and related improvements, and declaring an emergency.
Mr. Gelati or Gaddetti, whoever wants to take that one.
Mr. Gelati.
He's got the burning desire over there. I could see it in his eyes.
Okay, I'll speak for a moment. Yeah, as discussed in the work session, this is for the Highland Valley View Road intersection widening that's scheduled for construction next summer. Also added into this legislation is the future State Route 8 Highland intersection widening, which also includes improvements down Highland to South Bedford Road and sidewalk up South Bedford Road past the high school all the way to Blue Jay Trail.
And Director Veras, would you like to talk about the issuance of bonds, or is that explanation enough?
I think this explanation is enough.
Thank you. And Mr. Gaddetti, would you like to define appurtenances? No, I'm kidding.
You know.
He will.
I love that word, thanks. Any further conversation or discussion? Hearing none, what is your pleasure?
I move that we pass and post ordinance 72, 2024 according to law.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ordinance 72 carries. Ordinance number 73.
Yes, I'd like to offer ordinance 73, 2024 for its first, second, and third reading by title only.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
An ordinance amending ordinance number 95, 2023, relative to current expenses and other expenditures of the city of Macedonia for the period of January 1st, 2024 to December 31st, 2024.
Director Veras.
This is amendment number 2 in 2024. We discussed this in caucus. Hopefully this will be the last amendment for the year. Some major changes in the amendment. We were awarded some grants that I needed to increase the expenditures as well as the estimated revenues. So that's a good thing.
I'd like to point out as well that this is our second amendment of the year. That's pretty phenomenal, and that's great planning on the finance director's part. I've sat on this council when we had some things going on, and I believe, Dan, did we have over 50 amendments?
Oh, we used to do them quarterly, for sure.
I remember at one point there was over 50 when we had a line item budget, and it just proves that we have moved into a great realm of planning and looking to the future and doing what's best for this community. So I've sat through some pretty nasty things, and Mrs. Tully and I have actually both done that. So it's happy for me to see where we stand today, and it gives me a great sense of pride that we have a good team in place to keep us whole. So thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, what is your pleasure?
I offer to adopt ordinance number 73, 2024, and post the same according to law.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ordinance 73 carries. Ordinance number 74.
Offer ordinance number 74, 2024, for its first reading only, by title only.
An ordinance providing for the 2025 annual appropriations for the city of Macedonia, Ohio.
Self-explanatory, this is our budgetary thing. We've been working through this for the past several meetings, and we're just preparing for the budget to move forward on the first read. We always go 3 reads on that. Mr. Veras, anything you'd like to add to that?
I just want to thank council for their input in the finance committee meetings, and kind of just trust in me in the process. It's been 5+ years, but it's a great team to work with, and
thank you.
That's all. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Okay, resolution number 75.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to offer resolution number 75, 2024 for its first, second, and third reading by title only, please.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Resolution waiving the requirement for the construction of full sidewalks and otherwise confirming the conditional zoning certificate as approved by the City of Macedonia Planning Commission in regard to the Valley Reserve subdivision development project.
So essentially, this resolution is to work through what we went through in the last meeting, where we worked with the contractor and our building commissioner, Mr. Monaco, worked out something that I was very comfortable with, he was very comfortable with, and now we're presenting that to council. So we'd like to move forward that if it was council's pleasure. And what would be your pleasure?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to pass and post according to law, or resolution number 75, 2024, please.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution 75 carries. Any other motions or legislative actions?
I'd like to make a motion to waive the 48-hour rule and introduce ordinance 76, 2024 for its first reading by title only.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
An ordinance creating Chapter 798 of the City of Macedonia's codified ordinances relative to enacting regulations for adult use marijuana cultivators, processing centers, and dispensaries.
Any other motions or legislative actions?
I would like to move to waive the 48-hour rule and add ordinance 77, 2024 to the agenda.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Oh, for the first, second, and third reading, by the way.
Second.
Is that a, Mr. Goodetti, is that a separate motion?
Well, I think he can't combine them like we just did for 76. And I believe the end of your motion was
By title
for
only.
First through third readings by title only.
Correct.
So you can combine those two? Okay, great. Just want to be careful.
Emergency ordinance authorizing the mayor to enter into a contract with Atlantic Emergency Solutions, Inc. for the purchase of a critical response vehicle for the City of Macedonia Fire Department.
Chief Ripley?
Thank you, Mayor. It's for use by the Public Safety Department, which is police and fire combination drone team and command vehicle. It's something we had budgeted for a much lesser vehicle for next year. I was contacted by a sales rep. They had a demo unit available. Council had the opportunity to see it prior to the Finance Committee tonight. The IT department and the technology is all up to speed, and it's going to fit our needs for a long time to come, and it's updatable. We're just very fortunate to have the ability to purchase it, and certainly am thankful for your consideration of it tonight.
I'd also add to that that the fire department and the police department would share in the use of this vehicle with the drone team. Assistant Chief Zielinski's done an amazing job, and I know you're kind of on the forefront of a lot of things we're doing at that to make us a model for kind of the county. I mean, a lot of things that we're doing there, we're getting noticed, and it's not because we want to get noticed, it's because we're doing a really good job and we're creating our own program that's working. I mean, examples I give when I talk about this, you know, unfortunately, sometimes we may have a suspect that runs from the police. That drone goes up, and I think most of the time the drone finds them. There's a lot of good technology in there. And then if there's a fire, we can get that drone up above a house to get a better idea of what things are looking like and how to best manage that fire. I was in a demo when we first started talking about the drones, and the drone would go into a fire inside of a house and go under a table and turn, and the guy had the goggles and it would turn with it, and just technology advances very, very quickly. And it amazes me how awesome that is. But this vehicle gives us a much greater ability to work with this equipment, and it also can serve as like an incident command center. So it's something with some of the things we've experienced here in the recent past that we can utilize to help prevent problems and help us to bring us into the next century of technology and the good things that we're on the forefront of. So pretty excited about that, and that's it.
And the company we're purchasing it from is located where?
They have a
town.
dealership in service and a collision facility in Macedonia.
And I just want to congratulate the fire department on really taking this advanced technology by the horns and really giving a benefit to the people of Macedonia. All the stuff that we've talked about with the drones. If you really want to learn about the drones, coming to the fire open house is a great time every year in October. But everything we've talked about, things that you wouldn't even imagine, they're coming up with new stuff every day to do with these drones. Every call they go out on everything. So, you know, us embracing this technology and having a great IT department to help with that, and everyone just working together, police, fire, IT, service, everything that needs to be done. This drone program is great. So I think council is as a whole, we're really excited to help you guys support this and really help the community by supporting you with this. So thank you for continuing with this program and making it so strong.
Thank you. It was your pleasure.
Just real quick before I do that, I just want to say that I'm also an advocate of the drone program. I think these guys have done a great job with it. And I also find it so funny that we were looking for this and it kind of fell into our lap. I think that just kind of means it's meant to happen.
Yeah.
With that, I would move that we pass and post according to law ordinance 77, 2024.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ordinance 77 carries. Okay, moving into the mayor's report. You may notice tonight a lot of us are wearing not suits and ties.
I
and
messed up.
Well, you know, you always got to have that outline.
I forgot. I forgot.
You know,
I reminded
everyone's
you.
on
You did
board.
remind me, I forgot.
Did a text about it yesterday or anything?
But at the end of the day, Mr. Garvis, you're here, and that's what matters most.
I'm allowed to put that information to more than one person at a time, correct, Mr. Gaddetti?
Yeah, it's procedural information, sir.
What to wear is
Moving
not-
on, but I gotta congratulate and thank our HR department, specifically Director Smith here, who put a lot of this together. I know you've raised, and maybe I'm stealing part of your thing, I think she's raised over $1,000 for breast cancer. What is it? Oh, we're up to $1,500 to be donated to what?
To the American Breast Cancer Society.
American Breast Cancer Society. That's amazing to me. I lost my aunt to that, and it was horrible, and I don't want to get into that because I get emotional, but this is awesome. Like, it's a really cool thing, and again, we're not wearing suits and ties because we're paying our honor to that and recognizing how terrible of a thing that is, but bringing that awareness out means a lot to me. So thank you for doing all that. And not only that, we actually have an employee that beat breast cancer here, and she's very proud of that, and she actually works in our finance department. And, you know, we give her all the love we can because that's pretty awesome. So a lot of this is for her too.
That is correct.
Coming up on the horizon here, 9150 Valley View Road, our future site of our service center. Everyone thought this would never happen. Well, guess what? It's happening. The building's coming down. You're going to start to see things happening. Notices have gone out to the surrounding businesses, to the homes around there. It's going to be a little noisy for a while. It'll be during work hours. It'll be very reasonable. It will not be on the weekend. The building will come down, they will recycle a lot of the parts of the building, but we're also gonna recycle a lot of the brick and stonework to put back down for base in that area, because we're gonna have to do some leveling and things down the line, so we're gonna prepare that material by grinding it down, leaving it on site, and then we're gonna go to the next steps, which Director Guidetti, I hope we can do very quickly.
As fast as we can.
Everyone knows that I don't have patience for the government mule and how slow it goes, but we will follow the legal process. Doesn't mean that I won't push the turtle a little bit down the road a little faster. But I'm pretty excited about that. This is a big deal. I know our service department will be excited about it because we're operating out of some dilapidated buildings, and it'll be conducive to the operation, which will improve our efficiency. And that's all I've ever wanted from this, is to give them an appropriate place to work out of that's safe and efficient. And I think it's going to help us greatly. So more to come. Second last thing on my list, if you didn't already know, Halloween is on October 31st.
When's trick or treat though?
From 6 to 8. That is also trick or treat on October 31st from 6 to 8.
What if
There's
it
a lot
rains?
of mass confusion out there. Let me be very clear about this. Other communities, I know Northfield Village, I believe, is Saturday. That's great. I'm happy for them. I hope it's fun. Ours is going to be on October 31st from 6 to 8 for trick or treat. We will keep that consistency as long as I sit in this seat. So just know, October 31st, 6 to 8 is our trick or treat. The most important part of all that, though, is be safe. Kids are out, they're in costumes, they're excited, they're getting candy. Please slow down, please pay attention to your surroundings. If you're driving on that day, there's a lot of kids walking around. Just be careful, I beg you of it. Our police and fire will be out in full force that night to help encourage that safety measure. Not that they already don't do that, but on that day, especially when there's children walking around, we want to make sure we're doing everything we can to promote safety and driving appropriately. And while you're driving your car, put the phone down and concentrate on the road, because that's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
That is the end of my report. Thank you.
I had a lady yesterday, my husband's driving, saying, look, next door, she's in her car doing this. Never driving on 82. She never looked at the road. And we're like, okay, good thing we're in the lane next to her and we're turning left and getting away. And what day of the week is it?
That is
for
Thursday. Thursday, October 31st from 6 to 8. Thank you. Committee reports.
Parks and Rec Commission had our October meeting last Wednesday. Parks and Rec are winding down with projects and sports for the summer. So now they're into fall, almost into winter at this point. We're very proud of all the projects that they completed this year with the maintenance of the baseball fields, the improvements to the soccer fields, getting their HVAC, multi-purpose fields, I'm sorry, not just soccer, for everything. But getting the HVAC done, getting the pool flooring done, you guys have really done a lot. And between all that, you managed to go out and win another gold medal award, so that's pretty awesome. Everything is going so smoothly, we're not sure that we're going to have a meeting in November. We took a vote and decided that if there really wasn't anything coming up, we would give Director Chaddick a break and let him have a Wednesday to himself. So if you have questions about if you're interested in coming to the meeting, I'll have Mr. Hoover take it off the calendar for now, but if we decide to put it on, check that calendar. If it's on the calendar on Wednesday, November 20th, then we will have a meeting. Otherwise, it'll be canceled, and it will also be canceled in December, which is typically how we roll. So that's all I have about that.
Okay, there will be a very brief Finance Committee meeting on November 14th to continue and setting up the budget for 2025. That time will be posted according to the Madam President's agenda.
Thank you.
The cemetery, you may notice the garage has a new door. We put one in that has larger windows so that when Dan is working inside the garage, you can see if people have coming in and needing any assistance. We continue to work on improving and making sure that the graves are cared for, the trees are cared for, and one of the ideas we're looking at is, can we create a crematorium? And people, are cremating a lot of their relatives now. And so seeing if we can create a space for that, as well as continuing to offer graves. There are still graves available at the Northfield Macedonia Cemetery.
Thank you. Department reports, Director Wilson.
Thank you, Mayor.
Welcome back.
Thank you. Was I gone?
Last meeting. I'm going to welcome everyone back.
That's right.
I don't think they missed it.
I know. I don't think you minded at all.
I just want to congrats to one of our mechanics, Mike Ranke. Completed his CDL, and we did the whole thing in-house. So it's pretty exciting. Saved us a good chunk of money, and so that's also thanks to Mark Arlotta for stepping up and training him and spending a lot of time with him. And so I just thought it was pretty awesome that we were able to do that. With our new work order system, IMGIS, we completed 56 work orders within this last week. So it's exciting to see that and how great that's going. Leaf season has begun. We're in our second week. We're in the orange zone. Everything, all the info is on the website. So I encourage everyone to get on the website, see when your week is. But at this point, I was out and about today. I mean, there's not a lot of piles really. We're getting through the whole city basically every week at this point. We're always working ahead so that we stay on top of it. But yeah, that will definitely pick up here in the next few weeks. It's going to happen. It's going to get real. And the calls will go up. And then our other big thing right now is Christmas lights. As Winterfest is upon us, we are busy hanging Christmas lights. So, end of report.
Thank you. Director Gelati.
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. Just to piggyback off of Ordinance 72, as we discussed, Highland Valley View intersection widening is scheduled for summer of 2025. Prior to that, you will see some utility relocation work taking place around that intersection this fall and this winter. Utility poles will be moved back away from the road, gas main will be moved back away from the road, and some other smaller items. So just want to let everyone know that you will notice that pre-work taking place this fall and this winter in advance of the main project next summer. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Chaddick.
Thank you, Mayor. Despite not being here at the last meeting, I did look online the next day, and I appreciate the kind words both you and Council President Brandt had to share about the NRPA Gold Medal Award. So thank you for the kind words that you guys shared. I just want to express my gratitude to staff for all that they do during the course of the year. There's a lot of things you guys see, because obviously we're public facing. There's a tremendous amount of work and planning that you guys don't see. You guys just get to reap the benefits of whether it's a program or an event or the usage of the facility. So there's so much that goes on in the background that the staff does. They really pour themselves into these jobs. So I just want to share my appreciation for all the staff members, and that includes our part-time staff members as well as our seasonals. We can't function without our part-time and seasonal staff. They're so important to the operation that we do, and being public facing is a challenge. You guys understand serving the public is a unique challenge at times, but it's also very rewarding, and not about gold medals. It's rewarding about the people that come in, the kids that get to enjoy the programs. So just really grateful for the staff and all that they do. So thank you for that. And I'm doing a HVAC walkthrough tomorrow with the company that installed the systems. We're going to move around a couple sensors in the pool area that are just making things really hot in there right now. So those are going to get relocated, and we should be signing off next week on the final walkthroughs of that project. So I'm pretty excited to get that wrapped up. Met with the architects today to go over the design for the family changing room and the new office area upstairs. So in a handful of weeks, I'll be able to share some designs that we have going forward. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Veras.
Believe it or not, the Finance Department processed some Macedonia resident refunds this week. Those are the ones where people had extended their rate of return, and we were honoring those, so. and
Those
the
residents don't know how happy that made you, huh? To be able to use that clause for
The
them.
program that never ends, and the report that never ends.
Stops giving.
End of my report.
Thank you. Director Collins.
Yeah, you get a lot of use out of that report. Resident refunds are great. End of report. No, joking. Major projects include working closely with the service department on implementing a new fuel management system, procuring and getting ready to cut over to a new citywide firewall, as well as working on the emergency command vehicle. And thank you very much for your guys' support on that. I think it's going to be a great tool for the city and a great tool for the residents. End of report.
Thank you, and welcome back. Director Smith, welcome back.
Thank you, sir. HR has completed its annual health fair, and we almost doubled our participation over last year, which is good. The healthier we can keep our employees, the longer we can keep our employees, and the better our insurance premiums will be overall. To add a couple points to the mayor's report regarding our annual breast cancer awareness, we doubled our donations, and we have a few days left. Please come visit our table outside of HR so that we can continue to raise that number and donate. End of report.
Thank you. Chief Ripley.
Thank you, Mayor. On behalf of myself and Chief Yakupovich, we'd like to welcome all of our fellow department heads back to the council meeting that we attended 2 weeks ago. I'd like to thank council for the purchase of the command drone vehicle. I think we've spoke a lot about it tonight. I'm very proud of the job the Honor Guard did. New unit. The Assistant Chief and I have talked about an Honor Guard, having one here literally for decades. And we waited so long that we're too old to do it, but we got some younger guys that are very excited, and I was just very proud of the job they did. And you guys will be seeing that on an annual basis, Fire Prevention Week. C-Shift assisted in the delivery of a baby in Northfield Center on Saturday. Something they don't get to do very often, but it makes them very happy and proud. Baby Michael and Mom are home and doing very well. We got a phone call from Clarence, the head elf, and Santa will be in Macedonia on the 9th, 10th, and 11th of December. He'll be in Northfield Center on December 12th. He'll be in Sagamore Park on December 7th, and you can look for more information on our website and social media. Yesterday there was a clam bake for the seniors and other selected city employees, i.e. the Assistant Chief and myself. And we had a phenomenal clam bake. There was 100 and some people there, and everybody raved about it. Sunday, November 2nd, is daylight savings time ends, and replace your batteries in your smoke alarms. Jessica didn't have to remind me this time. And Mayor, can you remind me one more time, when is trick or treat?
That'll be October 31st from 6 to 8.
Okay. Thank you. End of report, sir.
I have one question for you though, sir. Did you say the name of that elf was Michael Diamond?
No.
What was his name?
Elf is Michael. and
Clarence.
is the elf.
Does he say, no, my name's Clarence?
You're reaching.
Anyways, moving on. Chief Yakupovich.
Thank you, Mayor. So the police department has been trying out different brands of body cameras. We still have a few more brands we want to try to go through. We applied for a grant because the total amount to outfit the department with cloud storage and cameras would be $185,000. I'm actually pretty confident, or hopeful anyway, but there's a real good chance we'll get that full amount, and we should find out probably by April of next year. End of report.
Thank you. Director Gaddetti.
No report, sir.
I just want to point out, I know we were kind of joking about tonight, but our last council meeting, we didn't have any legislation, so in my kindness, I gave all of the department heads a day off, except for the chiefs, who chose to be here. But it was their option. I just try to be kind.
We're always protected.
Well, while we're talking about the law department, I'd like to extend my congratulations to Mark and his new wife Hillary, who got married since the last. Congratulations to Mark exclusively.
It's like looking at you again in high school.
Prayers
Aren't you
for,
glad you had a council meeting? Oh, no, you were still here. Thanks
yeah,
for coming
prayers
to
for
council
Hillary,
meeting
prayers
anyway.
for Hillary.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Any unfinished business?
Yes, if I may, I would once again like to extend my thanks and appreciation to the 911 Dispatch Center, Macedonia Police and Fire Departments for taking care of me last Wednesday morning at about 3:30 a.m. Dispatch kept me on the phone through all my pain and agony until the first paramedic entered the doorway, and I thank them for a much smoother ride than I've had in the past.
Have we bought that many ambulance since then?
I think the bus I was in is newer than the last bus I was in. Because I remember asking Chip to check the suspension the last time.
Well, we appreciate on behalf of you too. Thanks for taking care of everything.
Good colors, but.
Any new business?
I'd like to remind everyone that we only have one meeting in November and one meeting in December because of the Thanksgiving and Christmas holidays. So if you need to, if you'd like to come and speak at a public meeting or come visit us, that will just be the second week in November and the second week in December. Also, I want to remind everyone, everyone that needs one, please get a mammogram. They are not the most fun things to do, but it's very convenient to get one in Macedonia. They make it the least uncomfortable as they possibly can. They have lots of appointments. We're lucky to have a mammogram lab right here in Macedonia and lots of other places in Northeast Ohio. So get your mammogram yearly as your doctor prescribes.
Thank you.
And Mayor, I meant to mention this earlier. I thought we were going to have additional speakers during public comment, and I didn't realize it was going to end as quick as it did. With respect to the school levy, I have a website out there that I like to share every year. It's mylastname.org, so garvis.org/taxes. And it's a calculator that I put together every year. There's a levy, and it helps people put in their street address and determine exactly the impact of that levy for that household. And I meant to share it when we had everybody here from the district, but I didn't realize they were going to leave as quickly as they did.
Thank you.
Yep.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We are adjourned. Have a nice evening.